Hello. Hi. It is I. Um, I don't know. I have like 8 names. I'll be Q today. All right. Just between me and you. All right. Anyways, as quickly as possible, I want to go over what is the role of bows. All right. All right. What are they good at? They're good at long range damage. They do a lot of damage in one shot. Um, Unlimited ammo. These are all pretty good positives. So I think they should be categorized, all right? Well, what the positives anyway would be if I can get either more burst slash more splash damage. That's similar to scout rifles. As low of draw time and reload speed combined. My explanation for this is because this is your DPS. The way that bows work, obviously the draw time thing makes sense. Faster draw time, the faster you get the bow from not being pulled back to getting ready to fire, right? But you also have to reload the bow, and those together make your TTK. For example, this is a D2 Foundry. It is on the PvP section, and I don't know, my computer's struggling here to get to the internet, so I guess just give it a second. Sweet. So we'll take this off because we don't want any other increases, right? If you go to time to kill, you'll see it's 1 minute and 39 seconds. If you add draw time, see, more draw time, or less draw time actually. That TTK goes from 139 to 133. More draw time, 129, right? And then we add reload speed, 124. More reload speed, rapid hit times 5 gives you more reload speed. The more reload speed, the better your DPS. So as you can see, our first bow we're going to be going over will be Biting Wind. Do I think it's any good in PvE? No, it's a waste of time. The only things that are good about it is the explosive head. This helps for single target damage because it's just extra damage all the time. And rapid hit will help with reload speed. And that's literally it. This thing's terrible. D tier. Hate it. At least for PvE. PvP, that swashbuckler thing is pretty good. Alright. Fel Terra Diddle. Oh, I didn't even say where you can get that one from. Nobody cares. You get it from Beyond Light, doing missions from Beyond Light, talking to the Lixney guy, who I don't remember. Doesn't matter, alright? This is going to be the most unprofessional video I've ever done in my life, so just screw it, alright? Either way. Felteradiddle, oh, this also was a precision frame bow. Regardless, this is a lightweight bow. This is kinetic. It comes from doing stuff in the Witch Queen's Throne World. Um, it is craftable. All those are positives. Origin trait, Psycho Hack. Hit the target multiple times. You can decrease their damage output. It's not by a lot, but hey, you take what you can get. Now, actual perks on this thing. I like Archer's Tempo for that DPS increase, obviously. By just landing crits, you get increased draw time, DPS increase. Explosive Head, more damage, DPS increase. See where I'm going here, right? Now, I do also like Shoot the Loot, but because you lose Archer's Tempo, I feel like you have to go with Successful Warm Up. because basically they're the same thing with a different activator. This is draw time increase per headshot hit. This is increase for 6 seconds per kill. Shooter looters are just really good as a utility perk. I'm not even going over these things because it's set in stone. You always want elastic string. You always want compact shaft arrow. You always want a draw time masterwork or a reload time masterwork. Uh, my rule of thumb is you won't reload on lightweights, and you want either reload or draw time on precisions. Um, yeah. So with all that being said, Felteradiddle, yes, high C, low B, nothing special, nothing too crazy. How does that look? Forgot about that on the other one. I don't know. I kind of like the theme, but it's just, I don't know. It's weird. I think I just hate the gun. I think it's just the gun itself. It makes me mad. Anyways, next one, Lethophobia. I think this is the fear of forgetting. Yeah, fun fact for today, fear of forgetting. Again, all these are always the same, so I'm not going to keep going over it. You get this from Season of the Wish activities. It is void, it is craftable, it is a lightweight frame, and its origin trait is Dragon's Vengeance. Basically, whenever you get red bar, or if a teammate dies, you will get a draw time buff, and it will also automatically reload your weapon. I don't think the draw time buff is good enough to be important here, so I just say screw it. This is basically a wasted trait here. In the third column, you actually have a bunch of traits that I like. Although I think Repulsor Brace is probably my favorite. Repulsor Brace here is dope for synergizing with Void, because if you get a Void Grenade kill while on the Void and you're using the aspect that if you do the previous action, you will get volatile rounds, then you can get a Void Overshield, which is nice. So, synergizes with Void, right? Cool. You can get Successful Warm Up, which drops you down to the floor. So this is an interesting concept. So basically, there is a as low as you can go amounts with bows, as far as their draw time, without getting a multiplier. Um, if you did nothing, you would still get to the floor with Successful Warm Up on most bows. So if everything else is trash, right, none of these other things work, if you get Successful Warm Up, you're still good, because Successful Warm Up by itself will fix your draw time, helping you out with your DPS a ton. And with this being in the third column, it helps all your DPS traits. The only other one I would mention would be permeability, because it's good, but I don't really see the use in making this bow be any element than what it is off the top of my head, so I wouldn't worry about it. Maybe if it was like, you could do some darkness stuff with it, like Strand, but whatever. I'm just you're spitballing at that point. Um, the only trait here that I would go for would be Golden Tricorn. These are the lower damage. The lightweights are the lower damage archetype, so adding more single target damage helps a lot. And adding that rate of fire from Successful Warm Up is also super useful. If you did want a utility pick for whatever reason, do not do Attrition Orbs. Go with Disruption Break. Successful Warm Up Disruption Break is actually really good, especially if you pair it with some sort of special weapon that can do shit tons of damage that is kinetic. Because Disruption Break is whenever you break a combatant's shield, then they will be weakened, but only weakened to kinetic damage, and it's about 50%. So it's a lot. It's really good. Um, Verdict. This is easily an A tier. I think people are tripping if you don't think it's an A tier. You're gonna have to try really hard to knock this thing off of its perch here. All right. So Lunulata. Yeah, I sound like a idiot. It is another lightweight frame bow. I feel like we got a lot of those. This is a world drop. It's stasis. It has the Vice Stinger trait, which for bows basically does nothing but give you a decreased draw time, which still is good. The combination I'm going for here would be Headstone and Shoot the Loop. Headstone for its synergy with Stasis, and then you want Shoot the Loop for the utility because there's nothing else here that you care about that can actually help you other than, nope, that one doesn't give you reload speed. I feel like I do it every time I do one of these. I'm like, does Well Run to give you reload speed? But it doesn't, which is why it sucks. So, the only other trait that you could consider, I guess, would be Successful Warm Up. Having those combined together would be good, but you should be leaning into the stasis quality here. I think there's other primary candidates that would be better for doing this sort of thing. So, um, Luna, this is definitely a C tier. Do I think it's better than Fell Teradiddle? Yeah, yeah. So that's where we're at with that. Okay, so pre-SDNX, what's that? 4. All right, it's solar. It's a Nightfall weapon. It is a precision frame, so it's the kind that I actually like. It has multiple origin traits. It has the Vanguard's Vindication trait. I will scream it from the heavens, please buff. It's trash. Stun and Recovery, which gives you a bunch of buffs for stunning not bosses, I'm sorry, for stunning champions. Pretty good. But the one I would be interested in the most here is this wildcard trait. Basically, on occasion, if you're killing things with this gun, you will drop like little mines on the ground, and those mines will blow up enemies if they get close to them, which is good. I don't really know why anybody would be mad about that. That's some good shit. So, the combination I chose here would be Archer's Tempo and Incandescent. Why? Because there's another solo bow that is that obviously it's in the same slot. It's another solo bow that's the exact same archetype that can do the other niche things well. So I think that this would be a better one to go with for pure hard splash damage add clear, with Archer's Tempo giving you that DPS increase, Incandescent making Scorch fly everywhere, which also can proc wildcard, so it works out. Yeah, this is more of an ad clear bow, an AoE bow, which lets me want to put it in the B tier. It's really good. It's not as versatile as Lithophobia, but it's not terrible. Not terrible. Point of the Stag. First of all, you get this from Iron Banner, which is gonna rule it out for a lot of people. It is arc. I think it's the first arc bow that we've gone over here so far. It is a precision frame, so that is the frame that you want. It also has the wildcard origin trait, which is interesting. Um, it actually has a similar role to the previous, although unfortunately it does not have Volt Shot. Bungie win, plus. So, it does have Archer's Tempo, and that is the only thing you want in this third column. There's nothing else that even really comes close, in my opinion. Other than maybe Elemental Capacitor if you're going to run Arc, and that would just give you a bunch of reload speed, but even then, I don't know about that. Don't know about that. So, Dragonfly for the splash damage. You could also try and make this more of a single target bow and go Vorpal Weapon with a 20% damage increase to yellow bars, which is nice. We're not running Swashbuckler. We're just not doing that. I guess Golden Tricorn could be more interesting than Vorpal. Yeah, so I take it back. Fuck Vorpal. Go Golden Tricorn. 15% damage buff continuously, and then if you get an ability kill while you have the 15% damage buff, it'll go up to 50. That's much better for single target. So either Dragonfly, Golden Tricorn, and you pair that with Archer's Tempo, you're good to go. What do I think of this bow? I think you have to put it in the same place as pre-SDNX. Pre-SDNX is easier to get. It has maybe one more little combination that works. So I don't think that Point of the Stag beats it. Ooh, another one that's hard to pronounce. Raconteur, I believe. It is a precision frame bow. You get it from Season of Defiance activities, which can be found in the helm at the top right. It's craftable. It's stasis. It has the Noble Deeds origin trait, which gives you a bunch of buffs to your stats if you are using your class ability buffs to buff your teammates, which you should be all the time by accident in a lot of situations. So, what do I think about this trait's third column? It's better than the last ones. Shoot the loot. I'm sorry, stats for all is pretty good, especially with the increased second that you get from tagging multiple targets. Um, stats for all does proc off headstone. Headstone will make a basically it's a delayed dragonfly explosion because you just gotta shoot the dragonfly. You gotta shoot the headstone crystal. Those crystal shards count as gun damage, which means it will proc stats for all, which is a nice combination in my opinion. If you're not gonna go stats for all with that weird little combo, then you use Archer's Tempo as the bread and butter. And then after that, I think I'm still keeping Headstone. I don't think there's another trait in this column that I would take over Headstone. And then Shoot the Loot. But if you go Shoot the Loot, then we go Successful Warm Up because we have to have a way to help us increase that DPS if we're gonna keep Shoot the Loot's utility. So yeah, I talked about it a while, which means it's probably pretty good. I do think it's about on the same level as these other two. I have it slightly higher in the B tier solely because it's craftable. Because it is craftable. There's not a lot of bows, by the way, so this won't take anywhere near as long as my other ones. So let's see. This is Strident Whistle. You get it from doing strike stuff. It's solar. It is a precision frame. And it has the world's worst origin trait in Vanguard's Vindication. There are a shit ton of traits here, but in my opinion, you just go Dragonfly and shoot the loot. Dragonfly's explosion will proc shoot the loot. Shoot the loot gives you whenever you shoot a ammo brick, you pick it up essentially, and it reloads all of your weapons. So that means you can be using your primary to reload all of your specials that are important to you. That's too good a combo to pass up because there's only one other gun in the game that has this combo. There's only one other bow in the game that has this combo, and it hasn't been around for like 2, maybe 3 years now. So there's that. Is there other things you can do? Yes, you can go Archer Simple Incandescent, but we already had a bow that could do that, so there's no point in doubling up on the exact same job. Successful warm up and then some sort of utility perk. The problem is there's no utility perk you care about in PvE. Um, other than just to shoot the loot. And if I'm gonna do it and I have the option of Dragonfly, I want Dragonfly instead of Successful Warm Up. So yeah, Strident Whistle. This thing is, I feel like it's slightly better than Priastian X. Um, yeah, that's it. I'm not even gonna explain anymore. I think it makes sense. Tripwire Canary. This is one of my favorites that we got. This is no longer available, unfortunately. It came from Season of the Seraph, which I believe came right before Witch Queen. So, not good, not good. Oh, not right before Witch Queen. It's the one that we had right before Beyond Light, I believe. It's a lightweight rainbow. It's arc. Um, it does have the Spice Stinger trait, which we've talked about already. Ambush also exists here. Interesting, but I don't think it's good enough. Basically, think like open shot, but like on the very first shot, literally, you also get a slight damage increase in PvE. But then it deactivates after you use it for about 2 seconds, and it won't appear until you're out of combat for 5 seconds, which is interesting. Um, interesting. I don't think it's good though. So in this fourth column, the only things I would even look at, the only things I would even consider under over for the utility of being able to break shields, Frenzy, because it is a damage increase, and that damage increase also gives you max reload speed, which on bows, that's something we want. And then of course successful warm up if you're pairing that with some sort of perk in the third column, which would be good, which we're about to get to now. The traits in the third column that are good in my opinion, we start with Dragonfly. It's not normally in this column. That's what makes this bow unique. Having Frenzy for extra damage and reload speed, increasing your DPS, and then increasing your splash damage by using Dragonfly is a nasty combination. I do think it's still worth considering just going with a simple Archer's Tempo and Under Over just to help break shields. And then the other thing that I think would work well as far as combining with Dragonfly, because Dragonfly is the only trait in this column that's not normally here, so we capitalize on that. We go with successful warm up. So now we can shoot the mans in the head more faster. More faster. How good do I think this gun is? I think it's S tier. Being able to have both a add clear option and a single target option all in one, that doesn't normally happen um, for most guns, so we take those. Tyranny of Heaven. Yeah, this has been one of my new obsessions. It is a lightweight frame bow. It's solar. It's craftable if you get it from the Last Wish, and with um, January the 22nd, 2024's TWAB, because I'm never calling it a TWID, um, this gun is going to become more available to the general public, which is good because it has a couple good little roles here. A lot of things going on that make sense. Um, it does come from a raid, which I guess, you know, improves the fact that it's supposed to be better. I don't know, improves the fact doesn't make sense. Moving on, Explosive Pact. Basically, if you get a kill or help your teammates with your grenade, which basically just means if you heal them with the healing grenade, you will get these stacks. These stacks increase reload speed, so really nice. Doesn't last very long though. In the third column, traits that I really like. Archer's Tempo. I'm gonna like Archer's Tempo every time, basically. Dragonfly, again in this third column. This doesn't happen often. Probably want to take advantage of it. Same thing with Explosive Head, by the way, which I didn't know spawned in this side. And you also have Successful Warm Up to pair with almost any of these traits because you don't have Frenzy to just knock all of that reload speed out. Um, I think One for All and Dragonfly is probably pretty good. You get one kill, it hits everybody. That procs One for All. Now you have 35% more damage, so you can do it again. That seems nice. I want to see what Adagio does to this thing because I'm not really sure how it works, damage profile wise. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think I would use Adagio here. So basically, I want Archer's Tempo and Incandescent. No. I want Archer's Tempo and One for All. I like Dragonfly and One for All. I like Successful Warm Up in either Incandescent or Golden Tricorn. Both of those sound really, really good. Um, and anything else, in my opinion, you're doing it wrong. Okay, relax. It's just my opinion. I'm not Jesus or something. So, Tyranny of Heaven, where does it go? It is definitely better than Lithophobia, but I do not believe it is better than Twitwire Canary. I believe Twitwire Canary almost stands in a world of its own, which is crazy. So, under your skin, this is Void. This is craftable. It comes from season as Arisen. This is the season that paired with Witch Queen at its launch. Um, it has the best origin trait in the game for just general play. Land tag. Every time you get a kill, you get 10 resilience and 5 extra damage resistance against PvE combatants. You stack that up to 3 times, which means you can get 30 and 15 by just killing stuff. So killing stuff makes you not die. Great, right? Fourth column, because yes, this one's a weird one. It does have Dragonfly. Dragonfly is a good AoE target. It's Void, so you would get a Void Explosion twice, which is also nice. Adapted munitions. This one is a interesting one, but I think that you have better options to help with breaking shields. than this bow, so wouldn't recommend it. You always have to do at least a small shout out for explosive head because it gives you damage increase like forever. But I digress. Um, so what I run is normally Unrelenting and Dragonfly. In this third column, there's only two traits you care about, and that's Archer Tempo and Unrelenting. And the only time you care about Unrelenting is when you have Dragonfly or Successful Warm Up, because what Unrelenting does is basically you get like this invisible stack, and once you get enough of this stack, you will give yourself a chunk of heals after you kill somebody. So healing and damage reduction on the same gun, not the character, on the gun, sign me up, dude. Under your skin, S tier. Shut up, get out of my face, I will stab you. It is great. It's also great in PvP too with its ability to run hipfire grip and successful warm up. Trying to bring back old school Hush. If you don't know what Hush is, don't worry about it, it's fine. Don't want to burst your bubble. So, next one, Vengeful Whisper. So, it's Strand. It is primary, it comes from the Warlord's Dungeon. It is a precision frame, so it's my favorite frame. And Sundering, destroying vehicles and constructs gains this weapon's bonus reload speed and charge rate. Um, this is really good because in the dungeon there's a lot of vehicles and or constructs that you have to maneuver around. Um, and Sundering helps with the reload speed bonus and charge rate. Now, because it's Strand, and I'm pretty sure this is the first of its kind, you'd be hard pressed to get me to do anything other than to go hatchling so I can raise me a small army of deviants. Um, the only other thing I would consider would be successful warm up, and then go with a more tempered look at these traits on this in the third column. Okay, I think that I would just go Slice here. Um, successful warm up, you get a kill, and you can just spray these arrows out. And then Slice, after using your class ability, you can shoot whatever the hell you want, and I don't know, you get like a tracker. I want to say you can do it like 5 times or whatever, but you can sever a whole bunch of targets. And sever is very good as a debuff, dropping the enemy's damage by around 50%. So yeah, I would go with that combination. By the way, if these traits get samey, it's because bows are samey. Basically, you want successful warm up or archer's tempo almost all the time. And if one is in the fourth trait and you're ignoring damage in this left column, you want to hope you get a damage trait anyway, or you want to add um, DPS through some means. I feel like I talked about every bow and not this bow a lot, which should tell you something. I do think it's underrated though, and once people really figure out how strong Sever is, even in PvE, it's gonna be on like Donkey Kong. By the way, Hatchling and Archer's Tempo is also pretty good together. Where do I think this goes? It is definitely better than my C tiers. Is it better than Point of the Stag? Yeah, Priestian Nags. You know what? It's low A tier. That slice trait is way better than people think it is. And then the last one, Whistler's Whim. You're probably already noticing it, but this one's kind of special. Lightweight frame bow. Trials of Osiris is kinetic. It has 3 origin traits. Alacrity. This works really good when you're by yourself. You get a bunch of buffs when you're a solo fire team. One Quiet Moment, we've talked about it before, is probably the best of the ritual origin traits. And Vice Stinger, which I don't know, I don't think it's good anymore. They've nerfed it into the ground. It's pretty rough. Now, in this fourth column, there's only one real answer because no other bow has this, and you're running Kill Clip. I don't care what your previous thought process was. I don't care if you, oh, I don't like kill. Shut up. You run Kill Clip, all right? For the obvious reasons. You get one kill, now you just got a 25% DPS increase. I was going corner because you don't really have another like DPS option in the third trait column, but cornered is nice in most activities nowadays because this will help you keep up when things are surrounding you. And a lot of this content where bows are pushed out just because of their um, inability to murder a lot of enemies at one time. Because of its uniqueness, I think it's definitely at least B tier. It's better than is it better than Rackenter in PvE? Yeah. Is it better than Vengeful Whisper? Maybe a little bit because of the DPS increase. Uh, Lethophobia does have a bunch of different things it can kind of work with here. So yeah, and bam, in a much under my typical hour-ish runtime, we've gone through every relevant bow in the game. I made a good one for my long night today. So that's it. I'll see you guys in another time. Later.